In this video, we're going to be looking at sound libraries and how you can use them to help boost your music making considerably. Today we're going to be using the example of East-West Studios Quantum Leap libraries. We're going to be looking at how you can use them and how realistic they sound to help inspire your next music project. As we go over to the computer, you can see that I have got a screen here which is laid up of various tracks of various colours. I've actually grouped all these instrumental groups. The sound libraries I use are something called the Quantum Leap Pianos Platinum from East-West Studios. Before we go into too much detail, let's give you an idea of how they sound. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how they sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go through each of the different sounds that I've got set standard from the libraries. Now there's many different libraries, and these are part of the Composer Cloud Plus subscription. East-West Studios send you a hard disk, and on that hard disk is literally gigabytes of real live sampled sounds, not just from the orchestra, but from across the world as well, from Eastern music to Western music to everything in between, to electronic to thunderous drums. Everything is there, and it's so good because it means if I have an idea and I want it to sound as realistic as possible, then I can make that happen. As we cycle through each of the different sounds, so we've got the pianos that we've had. Next we've got violin. There are an ensemble of violins that we can use. And of course you've got all the different articulations, all the different playing styles of each of these. And if we move over to solo violin, for example, we can show you the kind of sounds that you can achieve with this one. From solo violin, we've also got violas and solo violas. And each of these sounds has got a whole wealth of different key switches, as we call them. If you look down here on the left hand side, you can see that the keyboard has got blue keys that you can click, and every time you change that, you can change the articulation of the instrument. That of course gives you an idea of the types of sounds that you can use as well. What's exciting about this is basically you can use these sounds to maximize on the kind of sound quality that you want. So you can turn old MIDI files that you may have or old projects that you may have, and you can really boost the sound of these and make them sound incredible. With this particular example, in this particular program of Logic, I've also got use of the mixer as well. So as we continue into the sound libraries, so we've got strings marcato now. These of course are ensemble strings, they sound quite good. So we can of course change any parameter of any of these sounds in any of these libraries. You have the control to be able to dictate articulation, hold, decay, sustain, release. Now attack of course is just simply how instant that sound is at the beginning, so a bit like a plosive of a word. So you know, that kind of thing. Any attack of a particular sound will have that. Hold obviously is how long then that end sustains for. Decay is how quickly then that sound disappears. Sustain is when you hold down that note, when you let it go is how long then that tail of that sound, and then release is the speed in which the sound starts its decay from the point of when you lift your finger off that key. So quite useful to handle when you are wanting a particular sound from your piano. So if you think the sound is quite dry or needs a little bit of a shift, then you can tweak those values. Okay, let's go back to the screen then. We can find out then, of course, as we move over to the right hand side, we've got something called stereo double. It's on at the moment, but of course you can switch that off. It records it as if you were the audience member, so the strings will tend to be more on the left hand side of an orchestra, so hence why you've got this left hand stereo double side, and you can control the amount. At the moment it's very, very low. As we move below, there is reverb. I don't tend to have the reverb on because it tends to be the case that when you are using these kind of sounds, they have a natural reverb that you want to keep as dry as possible so that you can treat them afterwards. The reverbs that come with East West Studios, which are very good. So there is one called East West Spaces, and that is a really good one. That has basically got reverb responses from a whole manner of different places, from chambers, catacombs, to halls, to rooms, anywhere you would like, they have got them there. As we move down, of course, we can see we've got microphones, and this is really useful for controlling how close or how far away you want your recorded sound. Now, Composer Cloud Plus has 6 different mic locations, and you can control how those are. So at the moment, for this particular patch for the Marcato sound, it's recorded on the stage, but you can actually change that. If I was to click close, for example, you'll find that the sound will be much more immediate. Okay, so that gives you the idea of how that would sound, and you can deselect that, so then it would bring you back to the original stage. And you can hear the difference in that sound as well. So that's really, really useful to have. That level of control is very, very good. At the moment, I'm tending not to focus too much on any other parts of the sound library control schemes that you've got, but over on the right hand side, you've got the output, and that's really useful for you to monitor the level as well. You can control the pan, which is basically left or right. That's really useful to do, and it's very user friendly in that respect. But again, it's useful to just keep any changes as subtle as possible. You don't want to take away too much from the actual composing process. Everyone is different. I think with digital audio workstations, it's so good to get an idea down, and then it's fantastic to just be able to tweak it to give you an idea of the kind of sounds that you can get. Of course, sound libraries to pay for aren't the only option. Logic has got loads and loads and loads of sounds that are built in. So on the left hand side, you have got all of the MIDI options which you could possibly want to, including legacy sounds. And if those of you are still using GarageBand, it's such a fantastic program, but you may wish to save up and make that transition to Logic, because GarageBand jam packs are actually included as standard with Logic, and there are so many sounds you can use. So if I just load up a new software instrument track, select one of the legacy ones, and they've got a really good symphony orchestra. Extra violin sounds were so good when I remember using them back in the day. These legacy sounds still have their place, as these are built into Logic. You don't have to pay for these are included. Logic is always updating its sounds. So if we go over to the orchestra Steinway Grand, it's not bad at all. As I say, it depends on your budget, depends on your experience, wherever you want to go. I mean, I used Logic stock sounds for quite a number of years, and a lot of my old projects I've actually revisited and used the new East West Studios on there, and I found that it kind of gives a whole new breath of life into the music which I used to write. I think that just about covers it for sound libraries. Popular sound libraries include Spitfire Audio. They're quite high-end, based in London. Composer leads include Christian Henson. I really enjoy his videos, and I recommend you check out his channel. He's written for hundreds of films, television programs, and AAA video games as well, so you want to check out Christian Henson music. But also, of course, when you're starting out, it's super important just to be able to keep things nice and simple. All you need for composing is a MIDI keyboard, a computer, and some sounds that are fairly decent. And I would definitely recommend, as Logic has come down in price, to just go for Logic and use that. There are plenty of tutorials for Logic that you can access online. And of course, if you have a question, then drop that down in the comments below this one, or send me a tweet. See all the links in the description below for extra things that you can access as well. So thank you very much for your attention. watching today. If you've liked this video, then drop a thumbs up below. And if you've of course been someone who would like to subscribe to find out more, I mean, I make videos and post them every Thursday. I'm hoping to double up on my efforts in 2019 to make more videos. For the time being, every Thursday is when I upload, and I hopefully will see you in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Be part of my Patreon clan. If you want to be part of my clan and support me to help you make your music masterpiece, then head over to patreon.com/Euan Smith, where you can support me along with all these wonderful people that already have. If you support me in March of this year, you will be entitled to these amazing benefits you will be able to access. You'll also want to check out my Reddit group that has just started, and also my Discord. So if you've got any questions on music making, then either you can head over there or you can drop a comment on one of my YouTube videos. Thank you very much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.